Trustee Stevenson?
Here.
Trustee Mason?
Here.
Trustee Roman? Here.
Representing staff this evening, to my left, our village manager Napoleon Haney, my right, our village attorney Chris Cummings. To the audience's right, our police chief Denise McGrath, finance director Amy Zukowski, economic and community development director Angela Maceras, public works director Josh Berman, and assistant village manager Aaron Zacco. The minutes, well, it's combined in both. The public hearing of Tuesday, May 27th, as well as the regular meeting of May 27th. The minutes, any additions or corrections, trustee Harris?
Nothing for me.
Trustee Wood?
Done.
Trustee
I have
Heitman?
none.
Trustee Sampson?
No, sir, nothing.
Trustee Mason?
No, sir.
Trustee Roman?
Nothing for me.
May I have a motion to approve both, please?
So moved. Second.
Been moved by trustee Roman, seconded by trustee Harris Jones. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones? Aye. Trustee Willis? Aye. Trustee Heiferman?
Aye.
Trustee Stevenson?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Roman? Aye.
The minutes are approved. The claims list in the amount of $1,456,414.19. Comments or questions? Trustee Harris Jones?
No comments.
Trustee Willis?
No.
Trustee Heitman? Trustee Sampson? Trustee Mason?
No, sir.
Trustee
No
Roman?
questions.
May I have a motion to approve the claims list, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Willis, second by trustee Mason. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones? Aye. Trustee Willis? Aye. Trustee Heiferman?
Aye.
Trustee Stevenson?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Roman? Aye.
The claims list is approved. Of that over almost $1.5 million claims list, 3 items comprise the majority of that. Our payments to the city of Chicago Heights for water was $285,000. Our 2025 street patching program was $579,000, and 1 month's employees' health insurance was $259,000. That came to 77% of the claims list. Presentation, Mr. Haney.
Yes, Mayor, board, residents, want to bring up Antonia Steinmiller. She's our communication and engagement manager, to share information on our civic academy. This would be our 3rd cohort of the academy. This came about roughly 3 years ago. Actually, one of our trustees, Trustee Lauren, actually came up with the idea to kind of implement this engagement initiative. So it's our 3rd cohort, so Antonia's gonna introduce our 3rd and latest group of informed residents.
Good evening. I see a lot of you here. The Homewood Citizen Academy is a series of 6 free educational sessions designed to teach Homewood residents and business owners the inner working of our local government, your local government. So students come every week, they learn from different department heads, ask questions, it's very detailed. And the best part is that we provide context for everything. So this is a snapshot of the program. Week 1, students visited here, Village Hall. They learned about the manager's office and the inner workings of local government. Week 2, they visited fire department and learned about the building division as well, as our fire chief oversees both departments. Week 3, they were back here at Village Hall learning about the finance department and our budget, sales tax, property tax, all of the good things. Week 4, they were at Public Works Department learning about everything that our Public Works team does on a day-to-day basis. Week 5, they were back here learning all there is to know about economic and community development, including tips, incentives, and all of that good stuff. And week 6, usually we hold it at the police department, but they were back here again for our police department presentation. So out of 40 participants who registered, 34 completed the class. So I have certificates here for those that are in attendance. Some could not make it, and that's okay. I'll be mailing their certificates to them. So if you're here, please come to the front. Let's hold all of the applause till the end, and then Terrence is going to take a picture with your certificates and me. Okay? So Adam Briones, Alexis Lenoir, that's there? Just have them in. Amber O'Quinn, Brendan
Congratulations.
DeBoer, Ryan Mott,
Congratulations.
Jim? Jim? Joel? Karen? LaShonda? Matt?
Congratulations.
Mike? Monique?
Congrats.
Nancy? Natalie? McCoy? Nick? Tulea?
Yep.
Is that right? Oh, sorry. Rhonda? Ronnie?
Yeah.
Steven? Thomas?
Congrats.
Thomas Kennedy? Tanya?
Congratulations.
Tim? Did I miss anyone? Barbara?
Maybe we can-
Barbara, come on up here.
We're gonna stand up and we're right behind, we're gonna take a picture.
Family, sorry.
I never end up taking a picture anyway.
You want some people in the front?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, too. I'm wearing the champ shirt. Why not?
Say Citizens Academy, yeah. Congrats again.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
And I'd like to say something, I think it's a very great program that you guys put on for us, because I'm almost a lifelong resident of Homewood. My parents moved me here when I was 10 years old. I graduated from HF. My son graduated from HF, Homewood. We're all born and raised in Homewood, basically. And it's, my father has an office here in Homewood. I mean, it's been a lifelong commitment. It's a beautiful village, and I'm proud that I had the opportunity to see behind the scenes of it. So thank you for this program.
You were the valedictorian in the class? Thank you. Hear from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any subject not on the agenda, please raise your hand. Mrs. Troop?
Yes. Good evening, I thank you for this opportunity of speaking. I have Zoom calls with clients at 8 and 9, so I'm sorry, I cannot stay for the whole meeting. This has been done beforehand. I would just like you to consider the fact that if you're going to suggest something for the Village of Homewood, I would like you to think about publishing it, and it will not cost you anything in the Chronicle. That way, the village residents could see what's planned, how they wanna plan, how they wanna come, how they wanna vote, how they wanna talk to you. I informed many of them to make appointments and meet on Saturday with the mayor and some other people that, I'm sorry, I don't remember your names. But it's important for the people of Homewood to make sure that they're actively involved, because everybody has a vested interest. Everybody deserves an opinion. Everybody deserves the right to know how the trustees that you voted for and the mayor that you voted for vote for these plans. And please understand something. I had a discussion, and last point, I had a discussion with this wonderful man about TIF. Now, remember one thing, everybody has an opinion, but the residents in Homewood need to make sure that they know the facts before they're voted on. And I would like you to please make sure that this wonderful body up here puts the facts in 2 or 3 different wonderful chronicles, so when they come to the April meeting, they can't be accused of not knowing the facts. Because I'm skilled in TIF, I have my education in TIF, and I am rightfully deserve the fact that we want Homewood to stay as strong as it is. We don't want the schools to be torn apart, we don't want the church to lose their parking, we don't want buildings torn down, and we don't want contractors making money, and the people that, this community and other communities will lose a wonderful place to live. Because as this gentleman said, it's a very wonderful place to raise a family. And I think all the residents deserve a vote, and you should publish it in the Chronicle. Start July, so when they come in August, you can't say you didn't have the opportunity to have the information. And that's what I'd like you to know, because TIF negatively impacts the income of, it helps, the only person that it helps is the contractor, in my opinion, but I want each one of you to look up the negative factors of TIF. I want each one of you to make an opinion.
true.
Thank you, and I'm done.
Thank
And
you.
you have a very nice day. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, you did well.
Thank you, Miss. You did awesome.
Good evening, Christine Condon, Evergreen Road. I'm here for my annual pre-July 4th visit to say thank you to Chief McGrath for her team's efforts to enforce our village ordinance banning residential fireworks. I'm also here to ask this board to remind the public that these devices have the potential to cause harm to people, to pets, and to property, and to publicly express its support for Chief McGrath and HPD's ordinance enforcement efforts as we approach another July 4th. 2 years ago, I shared with the board the story of 3 families surrounding my corner home, to the south, to the west, and to the north, who detonated fireworks in the middle of Evergreen Road and Homewood Avenue, who shot Roman candles between power transformer lines to see whether they could hit the patio that sits between my garage and my home, and who hit my wood frame garage, which contained 2 fully fueled vehicles. Last year, I appeared before the board with my neighbor, whose new wooden deck was subjected to these same fireworks being shot between the transformer lines I'd mentioned. And during her public comment, she was advised that because Homewood voters had defeated the 2018 home rule vote, the village could not do much to enforce the ordinance. My issue here is not about home rule, nor is it about the issue of a statutory fine versus a municipal fine. The issue is about giving the community the message that this board supports HPD's duty and obligation to enforce the ordinances of the village of Homewood. A statement that is explicit in the oath of office the village clerk administers at virtually every meeting. So I want to thank Chief McGrath, Deputy Chief Johnson, and Officer Dean, who addressed the neighbor in question with a ticket and a proper confiscation of those fireworks. It is my hope that my neighbors and I will have even less reason to contact law enforcement this July 4th holiday. If we do, though, we anticipate the village's support of HPD's ordinance enforcement efforts will be both well noted and fully visible to our community. Thank you.
Good evening, Amy Crump, Homewood, Illinois, back to read another chapter from On Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century by Timothy Snyder. Chapter 7, Be reflective if you must be armed. If you carry a weapon in public service, may God bless you and keep you. But know that the evils of the past involve policemen and soldiers finding themselves one day doing irregular things. Be ready to say no. Authoritarian regimes usually include a special riot police force whose task is to disperse citizens who seek to protest, and a secret state police force whose assignments include the murder of dissenters or others designated as enemies. And indeed, we find forces of the latter kind deeply involved in the great atrocities of the 20th century, such as the Great Terror in the Soviet Union of 1937 to 1938 and the Holocaust perpetuated by Nazi Germany in 1941 to 45. Yet, we make a great mistake if we imagine that the Soviet NKVD or the Nazi SS acted without support. Without the assistance of regular police forces and sometimes regular soldiers, they could not have killed on such a large scale. In the Great Terror in the Soviet Union, NKVD officers recorded 682,691 executions of supposed enemies of the state. most of them peasants or members of national minorities. Perhaps no organ of violence has ever been more centralized or better organized than the NKVD of those years. And a small number of men carried out the shots, which meant that certain NKVD officers had thousands of political murders on their consciences. Even so, they could not have possibly have carried out this campaign without the assistance of local police forces, legal professionals, and civil servants throughout the Soviet Union. The Great Terror took place during a state of exception that required all policemen to subordinate themselves to the NKVD and its special tasks. The policemen were not the principal perpetrators, but they provided the indispensable manpower. When we think of the Nazi Holocaust of the Jews, we imagine Auschwitz and mechanized impersonal death. This was a convenient way for Germans to remember the Holocaust, since they could claim that few of them had known exactly what happened behind those gates. In fact, the Holocaust began not in the death facilities, but over shooting pits in Eastern Europe. And indeed, some of the commanders of the German task force that perpetrated the murders were tried at Nuremberg and later in West German courts. But even these trials were a kind of minimization of the scale of the crime. Not the SS commanders alone, but essentially all of the thousands of people who served under their command were murderers. And this was just the beginning. Yes, are we out? Can I have 10 seconds? I would like to say, I've been standing up here for 6 months now, coming to every meeting and reading from different books. And if you're paying attention to LA or Dallas, you know that this fight is going to be won in the streets. The courts are doing what they can. So I am encouraging everyone to join the thousands of protests that are going to be happening this Saturday. There's one in Daley Plaza. Please come and stand up to these bullies. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? Right there.
Hello, my name is Brendan DeBoer, recent graduate, resident of Homewood. I live right off of Irwin Park. Didn't actually plan on speaking today, so I don't know if it was a glass of wine I had with dinner or just feeling courageous from the events of earlier, but I saw some graphics, and I can't remember if I was searching for them intentionally on the website or if I saw them on Instagram or somewhere else, talking about economic development in regards to increasing walkability and safety, and noticed that there were a couple different crosswalks called out, which is great, thank you. Wanted to just call to attention the opportunity maybe for police, public works, and economic development to partner together, if not already, to increase the radius of where you're looking. So 2 specific crosswalks that I have in mind that are close to my home, thinking about Irwin Park and the large amount of junior high and high school age kids that go there. The Ridge Road crossings on Gottschalk and I believe it's Highland. We have a lot of drivers who, when a car is making a left turn there, are veering into parallel parking spaces to get around. I have actually almost been hit twice over the past year trying to go across those crosswalks because cars are veering. And so just encourage the investigation to maybe consider bulb outs or raised curb extensions there, just to increase the safety of both myself and all the kids who are inevitably going to be there over the summers to come. So, thank you.
One last question, please. I was wondering if tonight you guys were gonna vote on if there should be a grocery tax?
We are.
Okay, that's, I didn't see it there, so.
Okay, Tom. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? All right. With that, Ms. Flores, the consent agenda, and we will remove item E, the bid opening, and that will be discussed after the consent agenda. So all items except E.
Okay. We would ask the board to consider a motion to pass, authorize, accept, or award the following items. Award a bid for valve exercising and fire hydrant flow testing programs to M.E. Simpson Company, Inc. of Valparaiso, Indiana, the lowest responsible bidder for a 3-year contract in an amount not to exceed $146,286. Authorize the village president to enter into an agreement for the jurisdictional transfer of Harwood Avenue from Pine Road to Ridge Road, from the IDOT to the village of Homewood, providing the village with direct control over critical roadway in the heart of the downtown business district. Authorize the village president to enter into a 10-year intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation for the maintenance of state-owned municipal streets located in Homewood. We ask to pass ordinance M2358, providing authorization to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Loan Program in an amount not to exceed $4,137,498 to be used to fund the village's lead service line replacement program in the year 2026. We ask to pass Resolution R3225, authorizing assignment and assumption of the business development agreement for the Washington Park Plaza Shopping Center located at 17748 through 17956 Halsted Street. We ask to pass ordinance M2359, directing the village manager to solicit alternate bids and proposals for the sale and development of the property at 18155 Dixie Highway, formerly Delano's. We ask to pass ordinance MC1088, approving the implementation of a 1% municipal grocery retailers occupation tax and 1% municipal grocery service occupation tax, effective January 1st, 2026. At first glance, it may appear to be more than 1%. Each type of sale would be only taxed under one of the categories for a maximum of 1%.
Thank you, Ms. Flores. Comments or questions with regard to any items on the consent agenda?
Yes, I just wondered on
Ms. Crump, can you come to the podium? So
Okay.
voice can be captured?
Sorry.
No worries.
I had a quick question about the, loan from the Public Water Supply Loan Program. So for this $4 million, is that the loan that you all applied for that might, some of it might be, not have to be paid back?
Correct.
So you got it?
Yes.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions with regard to the consent agenda items? If not, Trustee Harris-Jones, comments or questions?
I just want to read something to you all as you're sitting here with us. Our revamped market, farmers market opening day was held on Saturday, May 31 from 8 to 1. And I would like to acknowledge and thank Christine Banks, who is our farmers market coordinator.
Consent agenda.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Consent agenda.
No, I'm fine.
Trustee Willis. Trustee Heiferman.
Regarding the intergovernmental agreement with IDOT, was that, did we have the intergovernmental agreement before this? This was a meeting?
Correct.
Always.
And is it a 10-year?
Typically a 10-year renewal,
Yeah.
10 years.
Okay. And as we take one road out of it, being Harwood, will that affect it significantly, the amount that the village receives from the state?
No. It's just, so the portion that's covered under the jurisdictional transfer is so short, it doesn't. It would have to be miles long. It would have to be like the length of 183rd Street for us to see any significant impact. So no, it wouldn't affect it at all.
Very good.
Trustee Sampson.
No questions.
Trustee Mason.
Item F, the business development agreement, is with Washington Park Plaza Shopping Center. Is there a sale of that location taking place?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. It's a transfer.
So it's a transfer. Does it affect any of the terms of the agreement?
I can speak to that. The answer is no.
Okay.
The last time the place was sold was 2016. And this is, it changes hands every few years. The point is it's strictly sales tax. I won't go into the details, but years and years ago, when the Jewel was actually on the west side of Halsted Street, this was part of a package of incentive agreements that the village put together in order to make sure that that shopping center stayed as a retail location. We worked with the schools, and it's not in a TIF. There was a collective effort to make sure that that stated retail location, and that's what this is. And
Sales
really,
tax sharing.
right, it's sales tax sharing is all
Okay.
it is.
Okay, great. Item H, the grocery retailers occupation tax. They're two separate 1% taxes, is that correct?
It just depends, I can speak to that
Okay.
too. It's 1%, there's, and almost every sale that's covered under this tax now is sales tax. A use tax is, and now we're gonna get into the weeds here. Let's just say, you're only taxed on one or the other, okay? A use tax is basically if you had something where people were using this, but they didn't actually buy it in town. And I can take it offline, but 99% of what you're seeing here are straight sales taxes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I think you're good.
Trustee Roman?
No, you go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I think you were in thought.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm-
I didn't know if you heard him, so I'm sorry. I was just gonna talk about item H also, and that, I want to make sure that it's clear that that was always, maybe I shouldn't say always, but that was in place already. And feel free to correct me if I have misunderstood this, but in my opinion, the way I've explained it to a few people that have reached out to me in the last couple of days about it was that our governor acted as if he was doing us all a favor by repealing it, and then that left a huge hole, approximately $650,000 in our budget. And then he repealed it, but in the same breath said, but we're giving the local municipalities the authority to put it back into place. So he looks like the hero, we look like the bad guys, but it's always been in place. So this isn't going to necessarily increase your bills any more than they already were. And I did want to clarify something that was asked, and I did not know, when the governor repealed it, when did that go into effect? It hasn't, okay, so that's what I just wanted to clarify that, because somebody asked me that, so it will go into effect in January?
1st.
So there will be no difference in your grocery bills, because it will just be moving from a state tax to a local tax. So, I just wanted to clarify that, because that's some conversations I've been having, so.
You know, just to further accentuate what you're talking about, this particular implementation has been done as of May 15th by over 200 communities who see a need for this. As you had said, this impacts us $650,000 if we didn't have it. As far as I'm concerned, this is strictly grandstanding by the governor. If he was sincere about cutting anything, he would cut state taxes that go directly to the state. So this is something that doesn't affect the state at all. It's something that needs to be done by the municipality. With all that being said, may I have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda with the exception of item E?
So moved.
It's moved by trustee Mason, seconded by trustee Simpson. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
The consent agenda is approved, and now the moment we've been waiting for. The bid that has been received, or bids that have been received for the property that is village owned at 17701 Brett's Drive. Ms. Maceras.
Good evening.
Attention is building, go right ahead.
So, at the meeting in April, April 22nd, 2025, we passed an ordinance that directed staff to solicit bids. So we published for 3 weeks, solicited bids for more than 30 days, and did receive one sealed bid, which I'm gonna attempt to open.
Attention is building.
I know. It's taped very well by me. Let's see. So we have one bid. The offer is from a group called Barefoot Land Company. And they are proposing a modern one-story self-storage facility. And their offer price is $750,000.
Okay. We'll remand that to staff with your review of that, and we'll come back to the board with the recommendation.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. That's what we did. General board discussion. Trustee Harris Jones.
Finally. Okay. Our revamped farmer's market opening day was held on Saturday, May 31, from 8 to 1 p.m. I would like to acknowledge and thank Christine Banks, our farmer's market coordinator, Public Works, Police, and Fire for a fantastic job. Also, the Art and Garden Street Fair, which is pet friendly, was held on Friday, June 6th and Saturday, June 7th, which had great attendance by residents and neighboring communities. I would like to thank Marla Youngblood, our events manager, Public Works, Police, and Fire for your support in coordinating this event.
Trustee Wood.
I agree, it was a great event, and I think Marla even arranged for beautiful weather, which I understand somehow. I also want to congratulate all the Civics Academy graduates. It's so good to see so many of you participate. Thanks again.
Trustee Ackerman.
Likewise, and I have nothing.
Trustee Simpson.
Same, I echo everyone's statements about the garden fair. Great job. I saw a lot of elected officials out there. Great job by having the staff. Walked around with a public official from a neighboring village, and he was very jealous of that. He had a lot of really nice comments about it, so no, we're doing everything right. Congratulations to all the graduates today. I think that shows, you know, that we're doing everything right. You guys are involved in the government, your decisions, so you can better understand how and why the village works, so we really appreciate that. And I can tell you that I know personally that Chief McGrath and her staff are going to take some serious enforcement effort, and that they take that serious, because she tasked me for many years with doing that. And they always take that serious. One thing that wasn't brought up about the fireworks was that it's also state law. So it's not just a village ordinance, and many years we were out. She has a tag team now, so she has more manpower that I'm guessing she'll be out there and making sure that they do their job on that. But they do take it very serious, and it's a serious matter, and I'm sure she'll do a great job.
Trustee Mason.
Well, I wanna echo what my fellow trustees have said about the fair. Art and Garden Fair, all of the fairs this year have kicked off, and they're great. I was really excited about them, you know, just because I knew we were, redeveloping them, and I think that they've been outstanding. The Art and Garden Fair, I called myself, trying to save a couple of bucks. I left my wife at home, on her own, and I ended up coming back with like 2 bags, so that didn't work out that well. Yeah, it was a great fair, great atmosphere. I love the engagement. It's what makes the community great. And as everyone else has said, congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much for taking part in the Civics Academy. It's really a great opportunity to see behind the curtain. And by doing that, you are really maintaining the democracy, because it's the most fragile form of government, and it takes active citizens in order to keep it stabilized and moving well. Lastly, I think everybody is aware, hopefully aware of what's going on in Los Angeles and Dallas and moving across the country. Just sitting here a moment ago, seeing updates that there is a movement from Los Angeles to Atlanta. As I was leaving work downtown today, I was delayed because there were protesters marching through the streets, and City of Chicago Police Bike Patrols were out trying to guide them towards, open spaces to do their protesting peacefully. So far, everything looked very good, but just maintain situational awareness when you go out, especially if you're going into the city. Be aware of what's going on so that you understand how to keep yourself safe at all times. That's it.
Trustee Roman.
I will start with, I completely agree. I think the fireworks are a problem. I have a pup at home who hates them, and I have had clients whose houses have caught on fire because of them. So they're a problem, and I just want you to know that, it sounds like you have our full support, that we support our police department in enforcing that, and if there's any other way that you would like to see us make that more vocal, please reach out. You know how to get a hold of me, so reach out. And to the Civics Academy graduates, I get so excited when you guys come. I think that this is such a great program. I can't take credit for coming up with the idea. A friend of mine did it in another community and told me about it, and I immediately brought it to staff here and said, this is amazing, we need to do this. So, and I love to see how many people come, and so many familiar faces too here for the, in the graduating class. So congratulations to all of you. And we have other ways that you could stay involved in the community if you're interested. We have committees, commissions, I think is their official name, or committees. I'm the board liaison to the events committee, which brings me to what I wanted to mention about the Art and Garden Fair. It was amazing. I echo all of the comments that have already been shared. I think it was a great event. So much work goes into it. Marla is the ringleader of it, but we have Public Works, we have police, we have so much support from a lot of the departments within our community, and it's a team effort to make them happen. And I just want to remind our community that the criticism of any of our staff, of course there's going to be criticism, but there's real people that put a lot of effort into not only our events, but running this village on a daily basis. And a great way to share your input, if you're really passionate about our events, is to reach out and join the events committee instead of, you know, maybe being a keyboard warrior. Okay, so that's all I'll say about that. But we have plenty of other any other committees that we would love to see you guys all get involved in and join us more often. So thank you very much.
Ms. Condon, with regard to your remarks, I wholeheartedly agree. My poor dogs, I have 3 big labs, and I swear they're gonna climb into bed with us. It's a terrible time. The Chronicle is here today. I would hope that they would publicize the fact that anyone using fireworks will be ticketed. And what are the tickets? How much are they?
Up to $750.
Up to $750. So let's publicize that, and the full arm of the law would apply. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Commissioner, just jump in. I want to respond to one thing that Mr. DeBoer brought up at the podium. It shouldn't be overlooked. The 2 corners that you're talking about, the 2 crosswalks, those are my crosswalks also. I pass them daily, and I'm amazed at the people that ignore them when there's pedestrians standing. I think pedestrians need to be trained in how to cross. I think that drivers, of course, have to, you know, stop their vehicles, but I see village vehicles and non-village vehicles alike crossing without attention to walkers. And again, we can all do better, and we should be looking closer at it.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Okay.
Can I add to that?
Why not?
We used to have the stop signs in the middle of the crosswalk, and then they went away, but then one came back. What's the status on all of that?
You know that it's a state route.
Oh, only allowed on the state?
That is a state route, and it's not permitted.
Got it, okay.
Ridge
Okay.
Road is a state-owned highway.
Okay.
Okay. With all that being said, may I have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss collective bargaining and purchase or lease of real property? May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Been moved by trustee Mason, seconded by trustee Heiferman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris Jones?
Aye.
Trustee Willis? Aye. Trustee Heiferman?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Roman?
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Take a short recess. Thank you all for being here.